everybody, and welcome to the 23rd episode of Season 2 of the Coffin Corner Podcast. I'm your host, GoodNightPunk, and with me, as always, is my good friend, Richie Cheese.
You brought it back.
I figured it's been a few weeks. We gotta bring it back.
Bringing it back inexplicably.
Yeah, sorry, not Richie Cheese, Richie.
There you go.
There you go. I got it.
You say Richie's and just mold them together.
Mold the two together.
Yes.
Why is that harder to say though?
Richie's?
That one just doesn't flow off the tongue, I don't think.
I guess. I don't know. I think it sounds that sounds nice.
All right. We can. Well, we're still workshopping it. All right.
Yeah, we'll have it next season. We'll have it dialed in.
Yeah. Well, here we are in the last Coffin Corner podcast before Christmas. So we got a big football weekend to preview here tonight. And I think when I was looking at the week plan for this week, there's 3 games on Monday, right? Because it's Christmas.
Yes,
That's
I think
crazy.
There's 2 on Saturday.
Yeah, it's just going to be another great weekend of football. I can tell you, it'll be fun to go over these games from last week because I literally sat and watched football for almost 5 straight days. If there was a game on Friday, I would have watched it. That is how into football I was this weekend. It was crazy.
That's all I did Saturday and Sunday, just from 11 when they start out here to 9 o'clock at night watching football.
Yeah, it was nice. I loved it. So hopefully the Christmas season will be good. I work the entire week, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'll be at work, not sleeping much during the day because of the holidays and football. It's going to be I'm going to be quite sleepy on the next podcast. So
just exhausted.
Been a marathon, 4 days of work, Christmas, football. It's just going to be too much. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though. Holidays will be fun. So I hope you have a good Christmas.
I love the holiday season. Eat a bunch of good food. There's always football on.
What do you guys normally eat? What's like your traditional Christmas meal?
So my mom actually cooks lasagna, spaghetti and meatballs, and then just like a bunch of baked goods. Like she does like an Italian Christmas. So
that's crazy. Ever since I married my wife, that is what her family's tradition was. And so whenever I'm at my in-laws' house, that's what we have. And since we're doing Christmas at our house because I work, so it's just kind of our immediate family, when Joy was asking me what we wanted to have for Christmas, my immediate thought was, well, let's pre-bake some lasagna to throw in the oven on Christmas and have some lasagna.
There you go.
For whatever reason, and I guess it's not a weird thing, lasagna is a Christmas thing for me. So,
yeah, it depends on your upbringing, but for me, definitely love a good Italian Christmas, and then mostly my mom make sugar cookies, rum prince, snickerdoodles, coffee cake, brownies. Like she just goes all out baking. So
nice.
I am eating a lot of carbs as well.
For sure. Well, without further ado, let's get into all the fun we had last week and we will have this week. Starting straight off with a seasonal, 'tis the season. So we're going to look back at the NFL season and talk about what top 5 players, this is our top 5 of the week, top 5 players that did you wrong in fantasy in 2023.
Yeah, I thought it was prudent with the fantasy playoffs starting last week. I had a first round bye in a couple leagues, so this week there's 4 games going, so it feels like they're really starting. And then I was looking at the teams that missed the playoffs, and a lot of these names were on there.
I did not make the playoff in 4 leagues, so I have lots of names to give out. And so I wanted to start off with some honorable mentions because it kind of looks like we were going for non-injured players because they couldn't really help doing you wrong being hurt. But let me just list off the hurt players that really hurt me. And I'd like to preface this by saying they were all on one team. So Here you go. Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Pacheco, Jonathan Taylor, Christian Kirk, Deshaun Watson, and J.K. Dobbins. So gone most of the year.
Team, right?
That is my entire dynasty team. The team that had me in the championship 2 years in a row. And I couldn't.
Didn't I trade you Deshaun Watson and Isaiah Pacheco before the season?
You did. Thank you for that.
Yeah, boy.
It's okay. You know what? Honestly, there's a guy on my list that I traded to you. So I'm fine with getting rid of him. So
my number one actually is a hurt player, but I put him on here because he was my first rounder. And anytime you lose your first rounder, that just sucks. So
yeah.
And the thing was, I still ended up being, I think, the fourth highest scorer in this league, but I had the most points against me. So it was also just bad luck. But Nick Chubb, I mean, no hard feelings. The guy got hurt. It's not his fault. But you lose your first round pick, and you're just dead in the water at that point.
You're waiver wire every week trying to find the good diamond in the rough, and I'm guessing you didn't get Kyron Williams.
I did not. I did not draft him in that league, unfortunately.
See, no one drafted him in any league I was in. So, because everybody thought Cam Akers was the starter, and he was the guy. So, once they gave up on him after week 3 and Kyron started starting, and after his first game where he did really well, I managed to snake him in 3 leagues, I think, including our Dynasty League. So he's one of the ones that kept me afloat when Pacheco, Taylor, and Dobbins were out. And then in my other keeper league. So he's definitely will be kept.
By the way, I actually did draft Kyron Williams in our family league. 16th round. It was probably my last round pick.
What a good pick.
Yeah. I had heard about, and it's one of those things where it's like I had heard about him in August, and I was like, later rounds of the draft I'll target him. And of course, I think I only ended up targeting him in that one league, and then I'm just kicking myself all season.
That's like me picking Puka Nacua off of the free agent list after the draft before the first week of the season, because I had heard a rumor that Matthew Stafford and McVay liked him, and then look what he's done.
That's all it takes with Stafford.
Yeah, exactly.
If he likes you, he will feed you.
Oh, Calvin Johnson got fed the ball covered by 3 people every game, so that's for sure. All right, well, you had Nick Chubb. I'm going to go with another running back, and that is Jamal Williams. And I drafted him knowing he was the second string, but he's just coming off setting the Lions' rushing touchdown in a season record, going to a team that Alvin Kamara was out for at least, 4 games? So he had all the time in the world to show what he did in Detroit there, and did nothing in those 4 games, and has done even less than since Kamara's been back, which makes sense. But the hope was he showed enough in those 4 games to share time with Kamara, which he's sharing it, but that share is like 4 to 5 carries, maybe a game. And that one hurt me because former Lion, set the rushing or touchdown record for the Lions, like just a guy I really liked, and did nothing for me. So
two fun stats for you.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns did Jamal Williams rush for last year? 22.
Was it that high? I thought it was like 16, 17.
Oh, was it? I thought it was in the 20s. Okay. Guess how many he has this year?
1 or 0?
None.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not a single touchdown. And he had 17 last year. Okay. And he has the second most carries on the Saints behind Alvin Kamara, but he's tied with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
That's insane that you're going to pay Jamal Williams that much money and give him the ball as many times as your third string quarterback.
Right? Exactly. Your second tight end. Like, what?
Yeah. Wow.
Very odd.
What a shame. My number 2, it's indicative of all Falcons because Arthur Smith's a jackass, but Drake London. I drafted Drake London in, I think, 2 leagues as like my third receiver, so I didn't draft him too high. But I mean, he's had some moments, but for the majority of the season, very underwhelming. The guy's extremely talented. And if he had better coaching and maybe a better quarterback, he could break out kind of like a Michael Pittman type. But yeah, I should just put all Falcons on here basically. But
after Kyle Pitts
disappointed in.
After Kyle Pitts did what he did to me, I vowed to not pick any Falcons until they had a quarterback I believed in. Because Kyle Pitts' rookie season to his second season was the biggest fall off ever, and yeah, no, not fun.
So much talent on that offense, just waiting to be used.
So next fun one for me, Trevor Lawrence, high pick, 3rd round probably, supplanted by Stroud, who I picked up as a free agent in like week 4. And Trevor Lawrence has never seen the starting job since then. He's just so unreliable week to week that Stroud wasn't until he got injured. And then Trevor Lawrence really hurt me because that 3rd round pick could have gone to a multitude of other things.
Yeah, Lawrence, people expected him to kind of break out this season because he had a good year last year, but yeah, just way too inconsistent. Just not somebody you can rely on. Like, very frustrating because he's shown like he's got all those weapons. He's had big games, but sometimes he'll go out there and put up like 5 points.
Mm-hmm. And it seemed like I started him every time he did that. And never had him in for any of the big games.
Yes, so, of course. They do that on your bench, yeah.
Always.
My third one, another receiver, especially after the hype from the preseason, George Pickens. He looked like he was about to break out with Kenny Pickett in the preseason, and I know it's only preseason, but, I mean, they were connecting, big plays, and really has not done anything this season.
Yeah.
Except be a distraction. But I don't get points for that.
That's a lot like my number 1 selection, which I'll talk about here in a few picks.
Yeah, a lot of disappointing receivers, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Speaking of receivers, that's my next pick is a receiver, and I was able to get him later in drafts, but I thought he was going to be a steal because he was out the first 6 games of the season, and that's Jameson Williams, who is showing promise. Last week he had 4 catches, I think, for like almost 50 yards, which is not a lot of yards for him because usually he makes big plays on his 1 catch a game since he came back to the Lions. But yeah, Jameson Williams averaging 1 catch. A lot of those 1 catch games were touchdown catches or a rush. But, what if he doesn't get that 1 catch? Now you're playing 50-50 ball with one of your wide receiver slots or a flex spot, and you just can't do that. And so Jameson Williams just kind of been waiting for him to show more of a possession type role than just playing the big target. And seems like he's moving into that, but a little too late there. So that's why Jameson Williams is on that list.
The thing that killed him is Sam Laporta breaking out as their number 2 receiver.
Oh, for sure.
Jameson Williams doesn't need to be targeted because Laporta is being a monster. But hopefully they'll just get him more involved, especially as the playoffs go on. You need a couple of those home runs.
Well, he reminds me of what I like about him and what I want to see in the future from him is what Golden Tate used to do for us. Right? Golden Tate could go down the field. He had big playability, but Golden Tate will always, to me, be the yak guy. He would always catch the ball and then run another 10 yards with it. And Jameson showed a lot of that in his 4 catches in the last game, where he catch the ball, made some moves, and got more yardage after the catch. That's what I would like to see from him. Because I love Golden Tate as a receiver. He was one of my favorite Lion receivers ever, just because of the fact that once you got the ball in his hand, he could do something with it. And when you're on an offense, not Vince Lombardi, when you're in a Joe Lombardi offense that's throwing screens every play, having a player like that is huge. So, yeah.
Yeah, Golden Tate was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved his, he cameoed on The League, which I don't think you ever watched, but he cameoed on it, and he was funny too.
Nice.
Good actor.
Nice.
My number 4, now I'm switching to running backs. It's Miles Sanders. I took him in a lot of leagues as my number 3 running back, just based off of assuming the Panthers would be better, and them leaning on him to help Bryce Young. And instead, he got benched like halfway through the season for Chuba Hubbard, and yeah, what a waste! Like,
after being paid so much money to come from the Eagles to there, like, what a waste.
And you would assume it would be an injury with him, because that's what his problem in Philly was. But no, he just didn't do much, and then they benched him. And now, it just that
one hurts a lot.
A huge miss. Yeah.
Well, speaking of huge misses, this guy was a first round pick for me in one league, and he was a keeper for me in another league, and that's Austin Eckler, who has gotten points, but he's the 23rd ranked running back with only 6 total touchdowns this season after having 32 years ago. Yeah. So it's just the fall from grace of the Chargers offense. Austin Eckler in particular has just been hard to watch as a person that cheers for the Chargers and as a person that thought he was worth keeping, So yeah, he's just really, because the keeper league I had him in, the only thing that kept me afloat to have a chance at the playoffs, I lost my way out of it in the last 3 weeks, right? A bunch of losses pulled me out of the playoffs. The only thing that I had that I thought would be the anchor was my running back room, because I had Eckler in there. I had some other good running backs, and I had a bunch of waiver wire receivers. Well, then on top of that, you got Eckler doing nothing, a bunch of waiver wire receivers, and 3 straight losses going into the playoffs and getting eliminated from the playoffs. So Eckler just really, really screwed me down the stretch, and most of the season, to be honest. So,
yeah, he was real disappointing, considering he was probably the number 2 running back after McCaffrey that most people took. So,
well, then not throw in the fact that Joshua Kelly's taking all his carries now. Like, it's Eckler. Like, why are we splitting carries with a guy like Eckler? It doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, I guess he's not producing.
Well, he'll be on a new team next year, so
yeah, probably.
My last one is Javonte Williams. The funny thing is with Javonte, he's the 29th ranked running back, so just outside the top 2, like just outside playing an RB2, which we play 2 running backs. So you could put him in, your lineup every week, and he would be doing fine. My problem is that I was expecting a breakout and took him in just about every league. And I drafted him in our dynasty draft as like my 2nd pick after Patrick Mahomes. I've believed in this guy since he was a rookie. And I'm just done. I'm not gonna drop him in dynasty, but I'm just you know what?
Which sucks for dynasty, because you either you try to trade him or you.
Yeah, he'll just sit on my team. But instead of sitting there expecting a breakout, I'm just gonna be like, if he does, great for him, but he's not gonna be on my teams next year.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, done putting the faith in that one.
Yeah, it's just the blind faith in a guy who just watching him and being like, man, he looks so good, he's gonna be such a great running back, and then he never does it, and it's like, I just have to give up.
That was me after 3 seasons with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, dude, I pick you every year because you had a few good years with the Steelers, and you just are nothing now.
No,
you're just a TikTok dancer.
The windows are very short for these players nowadays.
Right? It's crazy. So my last one is the one I blame almost everything on week to week, is Terry McLaurin from your team. I just don't understand. How many
leagues do you have him in?
I had him in 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you, because I know you traded him to me in the Dynasty. I didn't realize you drafted him in other leagues too.
Oh, every year I draft Terry McLaurin.
Well, that's just dumb.
Well, other years have been way better than this year. But this year is just he doesn't even get targets. You got a guy on your team.
No. He gets targets.
He doesn't get catches. He never gets anything.
The ball is in his direction. It's just nowhere near him.
That's the part that kills me. You got a quarterback that at one point led the league in yards, and Terry McLaurin isn't in your top 5 receiving yards. Like, it's crazy. And then the hilarious part, Jacoby Brissett taking over for Sam Howell, and suddenly he breaks out last week when I'm in the fucking toilet bowls. Oh,
dude,
cool.
I gotta tell you that I know you probably don't get on Commander Twitter very much, but man, people have been going back and forth between Howell and Brissett, and it's hilarious to me. I will say with Terry, it's a shame because he reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald, an uber talented receiver that'll never get the respect because he has ass quarterback play his entire career. But yeah, it's well, the one good thing is like they've signed Terry for a while. I don't see them trading him. I don't see them, trying to get draft capital for him. He'll still be there, and maybe there's better quarterback. Maybe we'll luck into a Kurt Warner for a season or two, and he'll have monster years, and everybody can appreciate him. But I put a note in my phone last November not to draft any fucking Commanders, Cardinals, or Bears. And it's worked out very well. So I suggest putting a note in your phone: do not draft any fucking Commanders.
Here's a funny little side note. I missed out the playoffs in the last week. I had a bye in the toilet bowl. On my bye, not playing anyone, I scored 174 points, which was my highest point total of the entire season, and was higher than every single player or team in the playoffs.
Wasn't that just the most annoying
And part of that was Terry McLaurin, who had over 25 points, which was the first time in the season I'm pretty sure that he did that.
And I would say 18 of those points came in the last 2 drives with Jacoby Brissett.
Right? Like, crazy. Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, that's there. I could, if I pulled up my teams, I'm sure I could come up with another 5 and then another 5, but
it's funny when I look at my teams and I see a lot of the same people, because I do that in fantasy. I won't pass on somebody just because I have them somewhere else.
Yeah.
If it's a player I believe in, I'm going to take them as much as I can, and sometimes that works out great, and then sometimes it works out like Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams.
But, understandable.
Oh well. All right, so quick news. Biggest news: CJ Stroud still dealing with concussion. Not looking like he's going to play this week, which sucks because he is my quarterback in one of my leagues. I was on a bye last week in the playoffs and thought, oh, good. I didn't have to play without him. Now I'm going to have to play without him.
Mr. Chat, Dave says Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah. See, the funny thing is Najee Harris isn't on my list because I actually didn't draft him anywhere, but he absolutely... Yes, he has broken a lot of hearts in fantasy.
That makes a lot of sense. And when you were talking about Pickens, I was thinking about Najee Harris, but I didn't have him on any of my teams, so I didn't really put him on the list, but he's definitely one. If I had, he would be on the list.
I picked him up in our family league because my mom dropped him in like week 7 or 8, and I thought, what the hell, I'll pick him up. Never played him once. Just sat on my bench the whole time. Just nice. Ridiculous.
Remember when your mom dropped David Montgomery in week 5?
Yes.
And was lucky enough to be lower on the waiver wire than me and get him right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lock her phone next season so she can't do ad drops. So CJ Stroud not gonna play. Jamar Chase, they said he's gonna miss some time, which to me means not playing this season. If they make the playoffs, he'll probably be back. And then Desmond Ridder benched again, I think. Didn't they already bench him and go to Taylor Heineke at some point? But
yes, they did.
Once again. Yeah. So.
Well, I think they played better with Tyler Heineke, by the way.
I mean, they lost the game to the Panthers. So
he played 3 games, I thought.
Huh?
I think he started 3 games.
I didn't look to see how good he was in the other games. I just know in that game they all looked like ass.
Heineke. That's not how you spell it.
That's like Heineken.
Oh, there it is. Found him. Where are your stats, sir? Game log. Okay, well, here's the games he played. He played against Arizona, lost 25-23. He played against Minnesota, lost 31-28. He played against Tennessee, lost 28-23. So, and only 2 of those he started. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he didn't do as good as I thought. I just thought it was better than Ridder.
His completion percentage is 8 points less than Ridder. Yards per game, 30 yards less. Yeah, I mean, they're basically interchangeable, honestly. If you look at the stats, their ratings are 82 and 84. So
I was basing mine not off stats, but off competitiveness in games. Because all those games they lost, one was by 2, one was by 3, and one was by 5. So,
yeah.
Other news that you missed on here, maybe you weren't even thinking about it, but Tyreek Hill still injured, but an interesting news bit. They're actually leaving whether he plays up to him. So if he wants to play on Sunday, he will play. If he doesn't feel up to it, he won't play. But they are giving him the chance to decide whether he's going to chase that 2,000-yard record or rest for the playoffs. So
I like that. That's cool to leave it up to him. It sucks. This was the fear all along with him, was that he was going to get worn down, miss some time, and not be able to hit it. Because right now, he needs 458 yards in 3 games to hit 2,000. That's pretty tough, man.
Which is a lot, especially considering compared to Calvin's 2,000-yard season, he only had 16 games.
Right. Well, if Tyreek does it, he'll have done it in 16 games because he missed one.
Right. But I mean, he still needs 458.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think, that's 150 yards a game while he's banged up. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen this season.
Yeah, which is a shame. And if I'm the Dolphins, I would want him to rest because you're in the playoffs or gonna make the playoffs, and it's more important that he's healthy in January than trying to chase that record. So, we'll see what he decides to do, though.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go to our Week 15 review. We talked about the Ford play on Friday, right? Because we did it late. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
I put it on there because I wasn't sure, but we'll just skip over that then. All right, so starting off, Broncos-Lions. Great game. Lions looking like them old selves again.
I don't know what Dan Campbell said to them before this game, but it was a complete 360. They did not take their foot off the gas. They scored another touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game. I love that. Thank God. Yeah. Please, just never stop scoring. It doesn't matter. You never know what's going to happen in the NFL, and I understand what the score was. I don't care. No one has ever in the history of the NFL let it go for the Lions. They're like, oh, we're destroying the Lions. We won't score for the second half or whatever. When we were really bad, the score just kept running up always. So why would the Lions worry about doing it to anyone else? Don't. Please don't. Just continue to score if they're letting it happen and keep the foot on the gas. Offense did well. Defense played out of their minds, which was the part that confused me. I did not see that in them. But taking out Tracy Walker and starting Melifonwu seems to be one of the best moves they've made this season because Melifonwu is crazy. Sack, tackles for losses, 9 total tackles. The guy's all over the field. So Melifonwu has just been a nice touch. And then between Josh Paschal finally living up a little to that pass rush we were hoping from when we drafted him. On the other side, Aiden Hutchinson, as well as, what's his face? The old guy. Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin didn't have many stats in this game, but he was in the backfield pressuring the quarterback multiple times. So it's just good to see. And then, of course, Isaiah Buggs trying to run for that touchdown was
hilarious.
Super fun to watch. I love Buggs. That guy's awesome.
That was fantastic, yeah.
But then you got the running back, two-headed running back monster, and Gibbs and Montgomery going for 185 yards. Not a single carry to anyone else. Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery carried the entire game for the Lions, 185 yards. And then Jared Goff just went nuclear with no turnovers, 5 touchdowns. Didn't even get 300 yards, but he had 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. Just a perfect get-right game going into what I will consider the hardest stretch of the season just because of who they're playing and the time of year. 2 games against the Vikings and the Cowboys in there. They needed this game, and now with the Packers, Vikings, and Bears all losing, all they really need to do is win one of the 2 games against the Vikings, and they win the division. Not to mention, if Seattle had lost on Monday night, the Lions were automatically in the playoffs. So the playoffs are almost a gimme, and it's just now winning that division title for the first time ever. And I have some renewed faith after this game.
Yeah, that was, especially after Goff had a rough stretch of games, it was nice to see him come out and look that crisp and play a game that clean. Like that's,
and it
like
didn't,
you said, gives you hope again.
And he didn't, I mean, I was texting you this during the game. He did not look good for the first quarter. His throws looked wobbly. He took a sack at on the second drive where he just braced for impact when a guy was like 5 steps away from him. He just looked scared. And that terrified me for the rest of the game. And then he went out and did this. He found whatever moxie he had left in him after the 4 bad games and just completely turned it around. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this week.
Yep, it's gonna be a good final stretch of the season for the Lions. I think they'll handle the Vikings with ease. Vikings Bengals. Bengals get the overtime win. Loved the Jake Browning moment after the game. Did you see that when he yelled at a TV camera that that's what you get for cutting me?
Yes.
Because the Vikings cut him. That was fantastic.
Very big you like that vibes.
Yes. Yes, that was awesome. Just not as clean and wholesome as Kirk. He's got a little bit of a potty mouth on him.
I like
Jake better
Browning,
than I expected with Nick Mullins. So
yeah, that's the other part too. This going into the Vikings games that I'm like, okay, well, this guy's competent. He did throw 2 interceptions, but they were winning this game up until the very end in overtime. So
yeah,
yeah.
Steelers Colts get the easy win as I think Mitch Trubisky got his last chance in the NFL, I'd have to imagine.
Oh, man. I have a friend that's a Steelers fan, and she was just miserable watching this game. And I told her before the game, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I bet the Colts. And then halfway through the game, I'm like, I'm glad I bet the Colts. Just rub it in a little bit more.
Yeah, the Steelers, man, ever since they lost Kenny Pickett now, it's been 3 straight losses, and it's just
And Gardner Minshew. I'd
love to see the Colts make the playoffs with Gardner Minshew, because you know what that means is that Gardner Minshew is going to end up as a starter somewhere next year. And
him and Baker Mayfield. And that's the great part about for
Baker
both of them.
Definitely should be. Yeah.
And it's funny. My favorite part of this game was my wife was reading on her phone in the living room, hanging out with me while I watched the game. And so she would look up here and there, and she caught the little, the personal interest story on Minshew about how he's a Florida man, basically, wearing cutoff jeans and lives in a trailer. And she's like, God, that stash is so ugly. She just does not enjoy Gardner Minshew the way I do.
You should shave your beard and leave the stash.
Dude, I've done that before where I shaved my beard, left the mustache, and then cut it down all the way to my jaw, left the mustache going all the way to my jawline, like some kind of fucking, like Wyatt Earp or some shit, and she was not happy about it.
She was not pleased.
Dude, she like shave that right now.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, Gardner Minshew in the playoffs, man. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
49ers, Cardinals. 49ers beat up on the Cardinals. I didn't expect anything less.
I
will say Trey McBride.
I expected them to cover the spread, that -12, and they were doing a good job going into the half. But that second half was just brutal. And the only reason it even looks close is because they scored there at the end of the game. So
many open receivers for the 49ers. Like, our secondary is just trash.
Yeah.
There was one point watching a replay where, like, Jalen Thompson lets Christian McCaffrey run right past him, and he kind of turns around to see if there's anybody behind him, and there's not. And then he just turns back around like, whoop, not my problem. Just ridiculous. But I will say Trey McBride, man, is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the NFL. That dude just makes ridiculous catches, and just his competitiveness, like, I freaking love in Trey.
It's kind of pathetic, the amount of targets anyone else but him got, because of the way he had to check down to Trey so much because of the defense. But the closest person to him was 4 targets on Elijah Higgins. Who?
Yeah.
First off, who? And then on top of that, 11 targets to Trey McBride. 4 is the max. There's a couple other people with 3. Dortch, Carter, there are 2 running backs. Rondale Moore, James Conner.
Wasn't Hollywood out that game too? So I mean, basically it was like Trey, and that's it.
Well, you expect Michael, not that other guy didn't play. The other rookie did. No, he did play. Michael Wilson. I would expect more out of him. 3 targets, no catches. Josh Pascal, 4 targets, no catches. Like, guys.
Yeah, bad game.
Yeah.
Look, congratulations to my parents for getting on the video board, and my mom got a picture with Big Red, so she's all thrilled. We've been going to games since the 90s, and that's the first time my mom's gotten on the video board.
I was about to say go check out the Coffin Corner TikTok to see Big Red's new outfit, but that's on my it's on my personal one.
Oh, yes. I remember that one, yeah.
AI autofill thinks Big Red wears a kimono and is from China.
Dude, it just threw an Asian vibe on all of your
all my
photos.
pictures.
It was really weird.
Like, why was I in a Subway with a baseball bat and a safety visor?
Well, I mean, TikTok is owned by China, so what are you gonna do?
That filter had to be made by. That filter had to be made by someone in China. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Well, AI is just their way of spying on us.
Yeah, because it turned the cockpit of a American fighter jet into a Chinese Ramada. So I don't know. Weird stuff going on.
Oh man, Bears, Browns. Browns get a win that they should have gotten. They decided to make it close. Very, very weird. Did you see the Darnell Mooney dropping the Hail Mary at the end of the game?
Yes. That thing just floated around in his hands, on his stomach, and everywhere until he just kicked it away.
Yeah, he literally just knees the ball away from himself. And I get it. If I was in that position, I'd probably be shitting my pants too.
Right, but he also was laying on the ground, not expecting the ball to come to him. It did come to him, and he's trying his best. I don't blame him for not catching it. But
no, that's what I mean. Like, I would be, like, my heart would be beating out of my chest if I'm laying on the ground, the ball's in my hands, and I'm like, oh God, I need to catch this.
I can win the game. I can win.
Yeah.
Oh.
But just that is a heartbreaking way to lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for the Browns there. Joe Flacco going to lead them to the playoffs. Ridiculous.
So I picked him as my sleeper last week.
You did?
So.
And then he threw 3 interceptions.
Wait, I didn't pick him as my sleeper. I picked him the week before. My sleeper last week was Will Levis, and he sucked.
Bucks Packers. Yeah, Bucks win. Baker Mayfield looking dangerous. He woke up feeling dangerous, baby. I love Baker, and I want him to like get a steady job and not keep having to jump around because people don't believe it.
Hope to find a team that will just stay with him. Like,
yeah,
if you're 7-7, you're in the hunt for the playoffs. Why? I don't know why you'd move off of him. He hasn't played badly. When I make my picks and it's the Bucks, I don't look at them as they're playing someone good. That's an automatic loss for them. I weigh who they're playing because the Bucks have been good. Mike Evans is tearing it up. Rashad White has just gotten better and better as the season's gone on. Baker's playing amazing. Like, when Chris Godwin's not hurt, he plays amazing. They're a good team. So I'm happy for Mayfield.
Yeah.
And we both said the same thing to end the last season on the podcast where, he was playing for injured Stafford, and we're like, we really hope he catches on somewhere because he's played well enough for the Rams in Stafford's absence that he should get a job somewhere. And then here he was. But didn't he had to fight someone off in the preseason, didn't he?
Kyle Trask. They competed
what kind
for
of question
it.
was that back then?
Yeah. Well, hopefully he sticks around at Tampa Bay. He's earned it. Texans-Titans. This was an ugly game. And, the Texans got a win they needed. But, yeah. When you've got Case Keenum and then Will Levis gets hurt, it was just blah.
Just another one ruining my parlay this week. Totally picked the Titans because with Stroud out, I thought they were done for. But for whatever reason, it wasn't Davis Mills' show like I thought it was supposed to be. It was Case Keenum, and Case Keenum did just enough to keep him in it. Devin Singletary literally carried the game for him. So.
Yeah, I remember Saturday going on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, Case Keenum's going to start." I'm like, "What? Why?" But I guess they knew why because he could actually get them the win.
Without Nico Collins and Tank Dell, you would have thought backup quarterback, not a lot of targets left. But Noah Brown, who is a name that all season long has had spurts here and there in games, 8 receptions, 82 yards and a touchdown. So between him and Devin Singletary, by the way.
Now, why is Dameon Pierce not the starter anymore?
By the way, Dameon Pierce was an honorable mention on my top 5. But he did not start for me most of the season. He was the backup to Pacheco and J.K. Dobbins to start, and then a couple of Kyron Williams. So Dameon Pierce never actually really started on my dynasty team, thank God. But he just did not do anything all year. And he reminds me of that other Texans running back that was really good and then just completely died out and left. God, who was that?
Arian Foster?
Yeah. Reminds me of Arian Foster, where you're like, everybody loves him for a few years and then gone.
Yeah, it's just really weird that all of a sudden, he had 1 carry in that game. He's not even a factor.
No, just not something you even think about. Singletary's definitely taken over that job.
That's crazy. Jets, Dolphins. It's what they should be doing. Glad to see Jalen Waddle breaking out with no Tyreek Hill. I have him in one of my fantasy playoffs. I need him to keep doing that.
He also has the single best touchdown celebration in all of football.
Yes.
And it's repeatable because of his last name. And I love the fact that his teammates do it with him. Everybody in the crowd does it. I just live for Waddle touchdowns. The Penguin Waddle is my favorite thing.
It is awesome. And it's funny how he's so good and so talented, but because Tyreek Hill's there, people forget about him. And then he has a game like he did against the Jets, and it's like, oh yeah, Jalen Waddle's also really good.
Exactly.
Chiefs, Patriots. Chiefs won. It was good for them. They needed to win. If they had lost to the Patriots, the world would have ended, I think.
It was close to halftime. That game was close.
It was
halftime,
close.
But the Chiefs kind of ran away with it at the end.
Yeah. Rashee Rice, man, coming along. I'm so happy because, again, I have him in fantasy in a couple leagues. So I'm hoping he's one of those guys that, leads me to a championship because he just starts scoring 30 points a game.
Right. Kelsey hurt in this game. If you read,
did you see Taylor Swift?
the
Taylor Swift controversy.
Yes. If you read Taylor Swift's lips, it's a big old what the fuck was that?
Yes. I don't know. There's everybody online saying she said flag.
Okay.
Because Taylor would never curse.
Yeah.
Which I find hilarious.
Swifties. I don't mean to piss you off, but you don't know her. Your parasocial relationship is not real. So you don't know what she said.
Careful. You're going to piss off all of our Swiftie listeners.
Yeah. Watch them find it.
I'll say
it blows up, and then we're getting more. We're jump up to 1,000 listeners. There we go.
I'm gonna post that.
I'm just gonna
on TikTok, and it's gonna go viral.
Perfect. Just get people to listen to us because they're pissed. I love it.
We should actually post just that little snippet of you calling out.
Where are we at in the podcast? I'll clip it right now. 50 minutes into the podcast, we're clipping it.
Just clip that, post it. Tag them all and just see what happens.
Hashtag Swifties. Hashtag Kelsey.
My favorite thing was I read an article. God, I can't remember what website it was on now, where they were talking about how a bunch of Taylor Swift fans have started going to games to see her, and they showed her on the video board at Gillette Stadium, and she got booed because she's a fan of the opposing team. And so a bunch of Swifties went on Twitter and were like upset that she got booed and that they were getting booed because they were all supporting her. And it's like, you guys, the fans don't care that you're a fan of Taylor Swift. You're rooting for her boyfriend's team who they're rooting against. Like that's all football fans care about.
Let me just explain Swifties in football real quick so we can get some more sounders for this TikTok. Most of them don't know anything about sports. Most of them.
I think it's accurate. I don't think they'd be upset at that.
Here they are. Why would they boo? Because it's sports. You always boo the opposing team. Especially in a changing of the guard type matchup that's been happening for several years where, the Patriots were the team before. Now that the Chiefs are, Patriots fans hate it because they're bad. They're always going to boo for the Chiefs because the Chiefs, effectively right now, based on the championships, are the new Chiefs or the new Patriots. So that's just how it goes in sports. The easiest way to
explain it is that in the world of sports, your team is Taylor Swift and the other teams are all of her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's how we feel about the other teams.
Perfect.
We're going to boo everything about them.
Exactly. And then we'll even boo our own team.
I've been known to boo my team.
Yes, exactly. I'm a Lions fan. I boo my team all the time.
Yeah, I have booed the Cardinals right off the field before. Oh, all right. Giants, Saints. Saints get the win.
Another one that screwed my freaking
parlay.
Yeah. I believed in DeVito.
I mean, the Tommy DeVito magic kind of fell apart there, but I mean, it was bound to come to an end eventually.
Yep. It
blah, blah, blah.
It's like the Josh Dobbs. It's like the Josh Dobbs Vikings magic.
Yeah, it's like it was a good while it lasted. It was
a good run
in games. Panthers get their second win because Arthur Smith needs to be fired.
I would like to say
good for them.
that I called that. Just saying.
You did pick the Panthers.
So I was watching that game closely because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm right here. I'm gonna be right. They kick that field goal. I'm like,
ridiculous
let's
team Atlanta
go.
Is.
Yeah, exactly.
One game out of their division, and they're just
losing to teams like the Panthers.
Bad. Yeah, just so fucking bad. It's so frustrating. Oh, Commanders, Rams. Rams beat them up. I mean, the fact that Jacoby Brissett came in and scored 13 points at the end of the game
that's what made it score. Yeah, that's what made it look close.
But it wasn't close at all. Cowboys, Bills. This game, I did not expect the Bills just to beat the shit out of Dallas, and they literally
they just
ran all over them.
Another one I called.
Yeah,
I believed that they were gonna get beat there.
Dallas on the road is a completely different team, apparently. I love all of the videos of, like, the Cowboys trying to gang tackle James Cook and like getting pushed down the field.
I was about to say that was an actual surprise. Is James Cook, how the breakout game he had, 179 yards rushing, a touchdown, 42 yards receiving, and a touchdown on two receptions. Just absolute domination on my fantasy bench.
Yeah. Josh Allen 94 yards passing because he just did not need to pass.
Yeah, like this was the James Cook show. They could not stop him.
And I love to see it because I want Buffalo. I mean, they were my Super Bowl pick, so they got to get in the playoffs first, and then they can win the Super Bowl.
Got to make it to the playoffs.
Ravens, Jags.
You're not totally shocked.
Yeah. Ravens, Jags. Ravens get the win. The Jaguars they are so up and down. It's so frustrating.
Yep.
But, and then Seahawks beating the Eagles Monday night. That was awesome. Well, I mean, not for the Lions.
I say no, was it?
It's awesome because I loved Drew Lock's interview in the post game. That was, I know nothing about Drew Lock, but watching that, I'm thinking to myself, this dude deserves a chance. Like, that's such a good mentality, such a team first attitude, positive guy, such a difference from the Patrick Mahomes whining and throwing shit. But yeah.
I just could not believe. I know the Eagles' secondary is terrible, but I cannot believe Why do teams change their defenses at the end of games? Why do you go away from what works to a prevent? Because the prevent never prevents anything, ever.
No. It just lets them march down the field faster.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I don't even understand why teams do it. And then the icing on the cake here as a Lions fan is that they demoted their defensive coordinator for this game and promoted Matt Patricia, former Lions head coach. What a terrible era for the Lions that was. Promoted him to defensive coordinator to call this game, and he screwed them out of clinching the playoffs on Monday by allowing the Seahawks to run down the field at the end of the game and score a touchdown to beat them. So thanks, Matt Patricia. I mean, I guess you will always screw the Lions, but good times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's ridiculous, but
pain. Oh, you like my Thanos quote? Fine, I'll do it myself. That's what the Lions are saying.
Your text.
That's what the Lions are saying now.
Gotta do. Lions just gotta win and win, and they're in themselves. They don't gotta worry.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there you go. That's week 15. Let's dive into week 16. Starting off with our Thursday night foreplay. I'll go first because mine's safe.
Yeah, you can't. I feel like mine's safe, but the numbers don't say it's safe.
I'm doing Cooper Kupp 50+ receiving yards, Kyren Williams 70+ rushing, Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown, and then since I'm calling Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown, I have Matthew Stafford with 1+ throwing touchdown. Might as well combo those together. But
as long as he doesn't run it in.
Well, yeah, that would be hilarious.
No, I think that's good. Those are good numbers. Especially since your Kyren Williams one is right next to mine, or near it, about 20 yards off, but similar. I picked the Rams on the money line. I picked Kyren Williams on 89.5 yards rushing over. I picked over 4.5 receptions for Puka Nacua. And this is the one that bumped the odds up. So the odds on my bet are plus 2188. Huge. Because I picked a Jimmy Graham anytime touchdown.
Which is funny because he's caught a few.
He's literally caught one in the last 3 games. So
hasn't he caught like 3 this year?
3 this year. No, 4 this year. And 3 in one each in each of the last 3 games. So if they get down into the red zone, the odds of Jimmy Graham being a target are very high. Not to mention they only bring Jimmy Graham in when they're in the red zone. So all he is there in the game to do is catch red zone touchdowns. So for whatever reason, the odds for a Jimmy Graham in-time touchdown were very high. So I bet it. I'm like, if he's done it the last 3 games, I'll be the one that ends it. That's fine. But if I'm not the one that ends it, I make some good money here. So
yeah, no, I could take a swing. Why not?
I put $10 on it, and I think I'm up. I would win 250 or something like that. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shooting for the moon.
Good luck.
You know what's funny is I literally almost left that one off just to be safe. But I only had $1 in my account. And I'm like, $1 on doing a 3-play, like I said I should really do just to win. I'm like, $1 on that would have won me $2. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to put money in my account for a bet, I'm going to make it worth the bet. So I added $10 to my account, added that on there, and threw it all at this bet. So we'll see what happens.
You know what's going to happen, though, is like you're going to hit everything, but Puka Nakua's going to have
4 catches? Yeah. I mean, I looked at Puka's last few games, and he's had like 6, 5, 4, and 5. So like I'm right on the edge of where he's been at. So I wouldn't even be surprised if that happens.
That would be freaking hilarious if that's what happens.
We'll see.
All right, let's dive into our Week 16 picks. For Week 15, you went 10-5, continuing the double-digit wins streak you've got going on. I went 12-5, which means without the 2 bonuses I got, we would have been the same 10-5. I only got 2 of my 5.
I was saying you only got 2 of the 5.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, the Eagles lost. I forget what my other one was, but yeah.
Oh, I'll go find.
But yeah,
out.
I gained 2 spots, so I'm down by 14 now.
Well, the good news for you is it's double bonus week.
It's double bonus week.
Yeah,
Does that mean I get 5 and I get 2 points for each one?
You know what? It's double bonus week.
Ooh.
So we'll do that.
Oh, boy.
But you don't get any bonuses for the last 2 weeks of the season. So you better use them wisely.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
I'm being generous, but
1 week to go Hail Mary to try to get back into this and make it competitive. And if it doesn't work out...
If it doesn't work, then I'll probably be like, Christmas just passed, and this is a new year, new me. Time for new bonuses.
Let's keep going. Keep rolling them dice.
I'm having fun seeing how your bonuses do. I honestly thought that with all the other games I missed last week, I was excited to see today what the standings were going to look like because I thought it was going to be way worse than what I saw.
Well, the funny thing was you got the Panthers and the Cowboys. So,
and the Browns came back for me.
You got right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, you've just been on fire. You just got to round robin your picks and hope for the best.
I did, but they were 12s, and I got 11 out of 14. Yeah. So I didn't even win. Your bonuses last week.
Do them like in groups of 5 or something.
I do, but I don't have the money in my account to do them because you have to do 9 cents, and in groups of 5, that's like 2,000 bets, which is more than I have in my account at the time. So what I need to do is hit big on this bet on Thursday, and then I can do a round robin with actual lower numbers than 12s down to like 5s or something. But
that would be pretty awesome.
Or one day I'll just, happy birthday to me. I'm dropping $200 into my betting account. And hope it doesn't just disappear.
Christmas. Just tell Joy, this is what I want for Christmas. I want you to put money in my FanDuel account.
Yeah, because I always put like a 20 in there, and I use that 20 for like a month and a half, and I always run out. But that's the thing about betting, right? For everyone out there that's listening, only bet what you're willing to lose, right? And I'm fine with it because it makes the games more fun to watch. Even if I don't win, I have more fun watching them. So.
I'm the same way. Like I'm actually having a hell of a year betting. I have $500 in my account, and I started with 100. So nice. I'm up like I've hit some pretty big bets. I've also lost some pretty big bets.
Yeah.
But it's like the way I look at it is like, all right, whatever I have at the end of the season, I'll take out and enjoy. But in the meantime, I'm not going to worry like if I lose it. Like it's there to, like you said, make games that I don't necessarily care about more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But for those listening, if you have a gambling problem, please seek help.
Absolutely. Yeah, the key there, that's why I made sure to put the key there. Only bet what you're willing to lose. Yeah. And by willing to lose, meaning you have it, and it's not going to put you on the street, that type of thing. But,
exactly. It's basically like, am I going to get a large pizza for dinner or a medium pizza for dinner?
Exactly.
Those are the choices.
Your bonuses. You had the Lions. I picked the Broncos.
I had the Lions.
So you had a double bonus there. You had the Titans. No, that Titans was my bonus.
Yeah, Titans was your bonus. I had the Falcons, so I double lost that one. The Rams got that one. The Cowboys, so double lost that one. And then the Eagles. So,
ouch.
It's just, hey, sometimes it's just not your year, which is hilarious because of my confidence pool that I'm in. I'm like in third place for the season, and I've won multiple weeks. Like
Are you using my picks? I appreciate that, man.
No, I'm using my picks.
wait a minute. How's that working?
I don't know. I always have the same picks, though. I don't know what that is. Like, I make my picks Wednesday night, but then with my confidence pool, I actually look at it like Saturday, and like I make changes.
And then you think to yourself, you're like, yeah, but Dan didn't pick them. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just need to start betting your picks.
That's
that's what I should do. Is like I should round robin your picks.
Do a round robin 5 this week and see how much you make.
Yeah. I'm gonna put $1 on each.
Because I had 11 out of 14 last week. No, actually, I had 10 out of 14 because the Eagles lost. I had 10 out of 14 and 5s. That's a lot of 5s. So.
Yeah, I might do that actually. We'll see. I'll do the math. See how much it would cost me.
So after the 5 bonuses last week, before double bonuses this week, the standing is 155 and 76 for me, and 141 and 92 for you. So you still got some room to make up, but with the double bonus week, anything could happen. So
I know, double bonuses. This is I gotta make sure I'm picking smart here. All right, well, let's start off with tomorrow night's game. Saints at Rams. Rams are favored by 4.5.
Saints at the Rams. Well, I know based on what your foreplay is, what you're going to pick, and it's pretty much the same as me. I think this is a 45-20 game that the Rams win.
Same. I'm doing Rams. The Saints really aren't that good, and the Rams are coming together, fighting for the playoffs at the right time. Saints are terrible against the run, so that's why I think Kyron Williams has another monster game. Yeah, definitely going Rams. All right, Bengals at Steelers. Bengals by 1.5.
Is Pickett back?
No.
Okay,
they said Mason Rudolph is starting.
Yeah, I know. Give me the Bengals. Jake Browning just keeps it going, even without Jamar Chase, because T. Higgins made. We didn't even talk about this during the recap. T. Higgins made the best catch, possibly one of the best catches I've ever seen. Coming out of the end zone, catching the ball out and falling out of bounds, twisting around and extending the ball over the line and over the pylon to score the touchdown. That's probably one of my favorite catches ever. That was so good.
Takes a lot of strength to be able to do that too. Like T. Higgins is going to get paid by someone next season. I don't know where he's going to go, but he is going to be paid and he deserves it, and he's going to be a beast.
He definitely is, for sure.
All right, well, I'm going Bengals too because I like Browning. I like his don't you fucking cut him. He's a beast. Bills at Chargers. Bills by 12.5. I'm not even going to take the time to wait for you to say it. I'm going to write down the Bills for both of us.
Yeah.
Colts at Falcons. Falcons by 1.5. This one's actually interesting.
The Falcons, who just scored 7 points against the Panthers, are favored by 1.5 just because they're at home.
Yep.
Give me the Daisy Duke wearing trailer driving quarterback Gardner Minshew and the Colts.
Yeah, the Falcons are now third in their division, and I'm not picking Arthur Smith again. Fuck that guy. He's going to get fired.
Can I just make a quick compliment for the Colts real quick?
No.
Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor, and Trey Sermon all have played extended time in games this year, and all of them have looked really good. That's a
Trey
tribute
Sermon, man.
To their line.
I remember when Trey Sermon was supposed to be the guy in San Francisco. Was it last year or the year before?
I think it was 2 years ago. Him and Trey Lance.
Yeah, just really like bounced around and everything. And I think that was the first time I ever saw him actually running in a game, and the dude looked good. Like,
right? I think I texted you guys, and I was like, this is the Trey Sermon I expected in San Francisco.
Yeah, before Elijah Mitchell stole the job.
Yeah, one of the 400 other running backs that stole the jobs there. Yeah. Mostert, Elijah Mitchell. God, there were so many.
But yeah, I'm going Colts as well. I'm like I said, I'm not picking Arthur Smith. Packers at Panthers. Packers by 4.5.
That's what the Packers played last week. I would love to pick the Panthers again, and they got a win, so they got some there's got to be some high team morale there. But the problem is they did not look good in that win. The Falcons just look really bad. So I'm gonna have to take the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I don't care if the Panthers won a game by 2.
It was 3. Was it 2? It was 2.
It was 9-7.
I thought it was 9-6 for some reason.
Oh, I don't know. But I'm taking the Packers. I mean, they lost to Tampa Bay, but they put up points, and I don't think the Panthers can. So,
they couldn't put up Packers. A touchdown last week in their win.
Yeah, just a bunch of field goals.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns does Bryce Young have this year? I just want to look. Honestly, I would say 0, but that can't be right.
No, he's throwing touchdowns to Thielen.
9. He has 9 passing touchdowns.
Well, let's go look at the Panthers. I'm going to look who's caught them. How about that?
Thielen has 4. DJ Chark has 3. Tommy Tremble has 3. Okay. Hayden Hurst has 1.
No.
Thielen's. I'm just curious because
that's one that drives me nuts. Adam Thielen. You know that I was talking about my other keeper league, not our dynasty league, but the other keeper league. I dropped Thielen in week 3 after I'd picked him in the draft in the third to the last round. I dropped Thielen because I'm like, he was not catching the ball, and he was old.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a foregone conclusion. He was not going to do anything on the season. He's almost to 1,000 yards. He's got only 4 touchdowns, but he's on the fucking Panthers. So the fact that I dropped him and then the end of the season, those 3 straight losses to miss the playoffs, I was juggling waiver wire receivers, actually kind of kills me.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because he had a good stretch in October and early November where he was catching double-digit pass, he had over 100 yards on that. But then lately, he hasn't been doing much.
But that's because Jonathan Mingo's emerged.
Mingo's coming along.
So that's
Mingo's
good.
A good one.
As far as the team dynasty goes, Mingo starting to getting catches is actually really good for the team.
I wish I had Mingo in the dynasty league, but I think I had him at one point and dropped him.
It's funny is he's that guy where I think I did as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if anybody has him.
I'm looking right now. I'm literally on Sleeper right now looking up Mingo.
You can just pick him up if he's available.
Rich, your dad has him.
No, son of a bitch.
And let me look at his.
You know who else he has? He has Tajay Spears. Really fun.
Yeah, see, here it is. Drafted 2nd round, pick 11. Dropped to waivers. Drafted September 4th by GoodNightPunk. Dropped October 8th by GoodNightPunk.
Oh, man. Who is on your taxi squad then if you dropped him?
Izzy Abanaconda, who's been getting carries in the last couple of weeks, and Aiden O'Connell.
Who else?
I don't have a third because I pulled them all. I pulled Mingo off when I needed to play him, and he did shitty. So
you couldn't put him back.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to change that next year.
Because I got so many rookies on my team, right? I got Josh Downs not on the taxi squad. I've got Puka Nacua not on the practice squad. So, no.
Yeah, you got to remind me in the off season to change that to where you can put them back on.
Back on? Yeah, that'd be real nice. Especially if you could pick up someone that was doing well, but isn't going to be a starter on your team if you could pick them up and drop them to the taxi squad.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to get sidetracked. Browns at Texans. Browns by 2.5.
What is the word on Stroud? I know he's in concussion protocol, but does that mean he's not playing? Because I haven't heard of
he's practicing, so it looks like he's not going to play.
Honestly, the Browns barely beat the Bears, and the Texans pulled it out against a good Titans team with Case Keenum. I'm going to pick the Texans.
All right. Oops. I'm going to go with the Browns. I think the Browns know they need it more. And I'm not super impressed by the Texans beating the Titans. So I'll go with Browns. Got something different. I'm also going to make them one of my bonuses. Just roll. I'm just going to say that right now.
That's like a triple bonus.
Could be.
Yeah.
I need them. All right. Lions at Vikings. Lions by 3.
I'm just going to keep doing what I do and pick the Vikings.
Oh, all right. I respect that. I respect that. I do that a lot with bets. I bet against the Commanders constantly. I'm going to go the Lions then and make them another one of my bonuses.
I knew full well that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of your double bonuses last week.
It was. But you didn't. Oh, no, you did pick the Broncos.
I picked the Broncos. I'm not picking the Lions again.
And that works for the Lions. So, I mean, yeah, pick the Vikings and the Lions will win. That I like it.
Here's a fun
Commanders at Jets. Jets by 3.
The Jets are favored? That's a home thing. And why is it 3?
I think they give them 3 points.
Who's starting for you?
Howell is the starter, they said. We'll see how long he lasts, though.
I'm going to take... I said I wouldn't do this again, but it's the fucking Jets. Wait a minute. This is tough because the Jets defense is good. And what part of the Commanders is good? Besides maybe the pass game. With a quarterback that might get benched halfway through the game. I'll take the Jets.
I'm also going to take the Jets.
You know what? I take it back. I'm going to take the Commanders.
Okay.
For me, being that conflicted over it, I'm just going to take the Commanders.
I'm going to take the Jets because Zach Wilson probably isn't going to play, so Trevor Siemian is going to start, and you would think that that's a bad thing. But I think they're going to lean on Breece Hall against our terrible defense. I think Breece Hall has a ridiculous day running the football. And Sam Howell throws at least an interception in the first half, maybe 2, and gets benched. And it's just an ugly end of the season for my team. So I'm going Jets. And since it's different, going with my bonus.
See, I didn't agree to triple bonuses.
You said I could have 5.
I know, I'm joking.
Okay.
Joking.
All right. Seahawks at Titans. Seahawks by 2.5.
Seahawks at Titans. Well, I feel like... Okay, well, you know what we didn't talk about in the Titans-Texans recap? Remember when I said the Titans always go the way of Derrick Henry?
Yes.
After this game, Derrick Henry said he was thinking about retirement.
Yeah.
That's how bad he played. 16 carries, 9 yards, and they lost. Everything comes down to Derrick Henry. And I'm going to say that after that crushing loss to the Texans, where they should have won it, they're going to be dejected and not play as well as they should. And the Seahawks, who looked really good with Drew Lock, whether Geno plays or Drew Lock, I'm guessing Geno, I'd take the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, Seahawks are playing for the playoffs. Titans are playing for nothing. I'm taking Seahawks.
Not to mention Will Levis got hurt last week. So
he did. They said Tannehill may start. So
yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, absolutely think the Seahawks win this game. The Titans have nothing left. And yeah, I think Tannehill and Henry are both gone after this year, which is why Tajay Spears I wish I had drafted him. Oh well. Jags at Buccaneers. Buccaneers by 1.5.
What version of the Jags are you getting? The crappy one?
No idea.
That's the issue I have here. The Buccaneers are rolling, as far as I'm aware, and the Jags are just cruising. So I will take the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. I'm also going to take the Bucs. I just don't believe in the Jaguars. I don't know what the problem is. So
yeah, the Bucs are on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, I trust the Bucs. I'm going to go with them. Cardinals at Bears. Bears by 4.5.
What a... Speaking of toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Wow. What are both of their records?
Cardinals are 3-11. Bears are 5-9.
Oh. So no matter
Bears
who...
surprisingly are winning some games late in the season.
Just trying to worsen that pick that they're getting Carolina's pick, right?
Yeah, they have the number 1 pick, and then they have their own, which is dropping a little bit.
God, this is tough. How do the Bears play against tight ends? Because that's pretty much how all this boils down to.
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of Bears games, but I feel like Laporta didn't do well against them.
Well, that's because Goff didn't do well. David Njoku did light them up last week. I do remember that.
That is very true. I think I'm going to take the Cardinals.
All right. Cardinals. Go with the Bears. I don't know if the Cardinals defense. This could end up being either a 3-0 game or it could be two terrible defenses in like a 35-32 game.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but the Bears defense has been playing very well since they got Montez Sweat, and the Cardinals defense just looked lost last week. So I'm going to go with the Bears. Cowboys at Dolphins. Dolphins by 1.5.
That's tough. I just don't feel like the Dolphins have really... I mean, I know they won 30-0 last week. The week before, they did not play well, losing to the Titans. And they're probably not playing with Tyreek. And the Cowboys just lost. So I think I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Almost. This is a tough one because the Cowboys are on the road. But I don't trust Miami without Tyreek Hill. I'm going to go with the Cowboys too. This is a toss-up, honestly, but I just think the Cowboys... I also think about it this way. The NFL wants the Cowboys to win the division and look good, so I think the Cowboys have to get a win back, so they'll beat Miami. Patriots at Broncos. Broncos by 6.5.
Nope, Broncos.
Yeah, I figured. I gave you the chance. You never know.
True.
Whoops.
It's just...
Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs by 10. I mean, these ones should be easy.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs, though the Raiders have looked pretty good recently.
I mean, they beat up on the Chargers, but I don't think they're going to do that to Kansas City.
Oh yeah, that's who they. Yeah, they're not going to They're not going to score 63 on the Chiefs.
No, the refs won't allow them to. Giants at Eagles. Eagles by 11.5.
Giants at Eagles. Eagles by 11.5. Hold on. Tommy DeVito's starting, right?
He is. Tommy Cutlets, they call him for some reason. I don't get that nickname. But
I'll still take the Eagles.
Yeah,
Eagles.
The
Eagles get right game. There it is.
Yeah, they desperately need a get right game, and what better team to do it against than a division rival at home? Yeah, they're gonna destroy Tommy Cutlets. I honestly I heard that on the radio, and I'm like, are they talking about DeVito? Who the hell's Tommy Cutlets? Like, what is the Cutlets part about?
Who was it that sacked? Someone sacked Tommy DeVito in the game last week, and then did the what's the matter with you?
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah. I'm like, be careful, man. You might end up sleeping with the fishes. Yeah, Italians from New York really like their Italians.
Clearly in the mob.
Yeah.
Ravens at 49ers. 49ers favored by 5.5, which is awfully high to me.
I mean, this might be a Super Bowl preview on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Christmas Day, nighttime. And they make the schedule back in March. How the hell did they know that these two teams would have the best records in the NFL at this point?
I don't know, but it sure makes a great Christmas Day game. And I'm assuming that this is the night game.
It is, and you'll be at work.
Well, luckily I can watch.
That's good.
On my breaks. Ravens at 49ers. 49ers about 5.5. Let's see. I'm going to actually... What are you doing there? What are you feeling over there?
Do you want me to go first? I don't mind.
No, go ahead. What do you got?
I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Geez, I just keep taking this is another underdog that I'm picking here. I have picked a few underdogs this week. And
I mean, you've been on fire this season, so
I feel like the way the 49ers played against the Cardinals for that first half, and then the Cardinals team with no real talent fell apart in the second half. I feel like playing a real team this week in the Ravens, I feel like the Ravens are going to win this one.
All right. I'm going with the Ravens. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to make it one of my bonuses. I just think the 49ers have more talent. Too many people to defend. Just way too many people to defend. All right, so what do I got? 4 bonuses. I got the Jets, the Lions, the Browns. What else do we have different? See, I don't trust the Bears enough to make them a bonus.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do the Rams tomorrow night, actually. I'm going to start the week off with hopefully getting a bonus.
Getting a double?
Yeah. That would be nice.
All
right, well, there you go. Those were our picks for week 16.
I got to get... hold on, man.
Oh, wait,
do I give you double bonus so I don't get a bonus?
I thought you had your bonus.
Did I?
No, you don't. I'm sorry. I just saw there's so many bonuses on there that I thought one was yours.
You're just really trying to get ahead right now.
I thought one of them is yours. There's so many.
Well, let me see what you... I got to get a double on if you're getting triples on these. So, Texans, Browns, no. Vikings, Lions, no. Because that's just prosperity there.
You do the Cardinals.
I could do the Cardinals. You know what? No. See, I just don't trust... Because the Bears have been playing good. Tough. I'm going to go with...
do the Ravens. We'll just compete.
Right. You know what? Give me the Ravens. In the Super Bowl matchup, give it a little more gusto for our watching pleasure. Give me the double bonus on the Ravens.
We'll have to do a Christmas Day. You know what we did for Thanksgiving, that 6 feast thing? We should do that for Christmas Day, too.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. And we'll do it over the weekend, and then we'll talk about it next week's pod is what we ended up betting.
Well, depending on if I win Thursday Night Football, I might be having to throw more money into my account.
That's true. Well, yeah, if you win that bet tomorrow night, you won't have to throw money in your account for a while.
I'll be feasting.
All right, so fantasy sleepers for last week. We both went 2-2. Both had some successes, both had some bads. Quarterbacks, you had Will Levis. He was ranked 19th, finished 23rd. I went with Jared Goff, ranked 17th, and finished QB2. Called that. Big day for Big G
right
man. You had Jalen Warren at running back. He was ranked 29th, finished 20th. I went with Raheem Mostert. He was ranked 22nd because I don't understand what they do, and he finished 10th. We both sucked at receiver. You picked Odell Beckham. He was ranked 39th and finished with 2.4 points. I had Tyler Lockett. He was ranked 29th and finished with 5.1 points. And then with tight end, you picked a heck of a one. Tucker Kraft, ranked 21st versus Tampa Bay, finished tight end 6. Good call. I went with Chigozimo Okonkwo from Tennessee. He was ranked 17th and only finished with 6.6 points. So we both went 2-2. For the season, you were 26-18-8. I'm 23-22-11. And for this week, my quarterback, I'm actually going with Mason Rudolph I know I picked the Bengals to win, but that should mean that the Steelers have to throw a lot. Mason Rudolph's ranked 28th against Cincinnati. Their pass defense is suspect. They should have to throw a bunch to try to keep up. So I think he not going to have a huge day, but at least finishes above 28th.
Yeah, he's down at the bottom, so he can only go up if he does well.
Think. Unless they
if he
bench
does
him
well,
for Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, right. I picked Gardner Minshew against Atlanta. He's ranked 24th. Atlanta has the 18th ranked defense, so it's kind of like right there in the middle of the league. But I feel like Gardner Minshew's kind of on a streak right now. He's got a lot of good receivers. Pittman, Downs, Pierce, whoever's playing running back. So I feel like Gardner Minshew is going to have a good game in that one.
I like it. Atlanta's garbage. They're playing for Indy's playing for a playoff spot, so Minshew should be motivated. So I like it.
Exactly.
Running backs. I mentioned this earlier with the Jets. I'm taking Breece Hall. He's ranked 11th, which is high. So basically what I'm betting here is that he finishes as a top 5 running back. I almost said number 1, but I want to give myself a little bit of a window here. But yeah, I'm going to say top 3. That's a little bit more of a stretch than saying top 5. So I'll say top 3. I think they're going to ride the hell out of Breece Hall with Trevor Siemian at quarterback.
Watch my taxi squad guy, Izzy, have a good game.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Abanikanda, let's go.
Israel Abanikanda, one of the guys that we talked about pre-draft.
Yeah, which is why I drafted him. And I'm still keeping him because Michael Carter got let go. Breece Hall, Abanikanda is kind of like sneaking into that
Dalvin
backup
Cook
role.
Hasn't done anything.
Yeah, Abanikanda is kind of sneaking into that backup role. So, DeAndre Swift is my running back. Only because he's ranked 23rd. And I know he's had some really bad games. He kind of screwed me out of the playoffs because between him and Eckler on my team, my keeper league team, those were the running backs that just kind of screwed me out of the playoffs. But DeAndre Swift against the Giants, ranked 23rd, I got to give it to him. He's going to do something and at least be in the top 15. So
Philly's got to be motivated. So
yeah, after the 2 or 3 losses in a row.
Yeah,
they're gotta be
rough time for them. Receivers, I'm going with Cortland Sutton. He's ranked 35th versus New England. He's just consistent, and 35th is pretty low. I know New England's defense actually isn't terrible, but I think Sutton just too consistent to be ranked that low.
I'm going with the best wide receiver on the Steelers, and that is Deontay Johnson, who's ranked 36th versus Cincinnati.
So I like it. Fits with my quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. We both win there.
And last one, I'm going with a tight end for the Steelers. Apparently, we picked the Bengals, but we think the Steelers are going to score points. I don't know, but yeah, I'm
at
going
least
with
catches.
He's ranked, maybe touchdowns. It could be a high scoring game. Browning will put points, but I'm going with Freiermuth. He's ranked 15th versus Cincinnati, and I think at the very least he's going to catch a bunch of passes. So.
And since I am required by podcast contract to pick a tight end, I went with Dawson Knox, ranked 30th at the Chargers.
That's right. You make that joke, but last week you picked Tucker Kraft, which was a fantastic
pick.
Pick.
It's funny because most of my tight ends hit. like Kate Otten, Tucker Kraft. Like I can find
you hate doing it.
The diamonds in the rough, but I do not like doing it. Dawson Knox is who I picked because Dalton Kincaid is still questionable. So, and Jason, Jared, Josh, Allen.
I don't know who you're. Okay.
Allen
keep going,
loves his tight ends. So
he does, and Dawson Knox being ranked 30th is pretty crazy. If
Kincaid's out, Knox has been playing at the Kincaid level. So, and even if they do enough jumbling between Kincaid and Knox when Kincaid's healthy, that Knox still has a chance to be a good a good tight end pick. So that's what I got.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Those are our sleepers for week 16.
That's it. That's them. There they are. So, all right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it for episode 23. As far as final thoughts, Richie, do you have anything jumbling around in your head there?
No, I think we went off the track enough times that I covered everything.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
Boy, that's a good question. Probably mozzarella, because it's the only one that I can eat when it's not melted. I don't like eating cheese when it's not melted.
Wow, I just learned something new about you.
When I do charcuterie, it's basically just meat and maybe some fruits and nuts. I don't do the cheese part.
I am practically flabbergasted.
I can see it in your face.
Family events where I'm like, I don't know what to make or bake, we bring a cheese board. I fucking love cheese. But I mozzarella is a good choice.
Yeah, I just don't like melted cheese. I will try almost any kind of melted cheese.
Like fondue is your style of cheese.
Oh, fucking fondue is my jam, man. I have a fondue pot. I make my own fondue. Love it. Just dip anything in there. Broccoli.
Get a block of smoked cheddar.
I do like smoked cheddar.
Throw it in your fondue pot, and you just live a little. Smoked cheddar is my jam. That's my favorite.
That is one of the ones that I do like to melt in there. Dip some. I go to Walmart and I get their like almost expired French bread for like $1, and then I just sit there and rip it off and dip it in the cheese. I don't know why I only like it melted. I really don't. I don't understand it. It tastes completely different to me. If I eat a cube of cheese, it tastes like plastic. I eat melted cheese and it's delicious.
But that's the difference between most foods when hot and cold, right? Yeah, a lot of people like cold pizza. I don't. I can't stand it. I will only eat pizza hot. Yeah, see, exactly. So,
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, there's my off topic for a second. I just figured Richie Cheese needed a podium to let us know what his favorite cheese was.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. But you're like, why is he
I
literally
thought you were like
about
eating cheese or something, and it popped in your head. But I like that you actually connected it to the nickname.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we call a callback.
That's right. Callbacks are the king of comedy. I don't remember who said that, but someone said that. The comedian, of course. All right, everybody, if you love the show, go follow us on X/Twitter at Coffin Corners. You can follow us on TikTok at Coffin Corner Podcast. I finally reinstalled CapCut, so I'm gonna be posting some more fun videos. It didn't.
Yeah, please be on the lookout for Dan eviscerating Swifties on TikTok.
Yes, if you want to see how well that does, go follow the TikTok Coffin Corner Podcast, because we're just absolutely gonna have fun with that. Yeah, I'm afraid actually that'll be interesting. But yeah, go follow the TikTok Coffin Corner Podcast as well. You can follow the podcast if you don't listen to it on an actual podcast. You can listen to the podcast on anywhere podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcastify, all of those places. We are there, and you'll find us there. If you're listening and you want to watch us live, we're live almost every Wednesday night at youtube.com/@Coffin Corner. That's where you'll find us there. So Go check all those things out. Give us a follow if you are on your podcast place of pleasure. Go ahead and give us a review. Let us know what you think of the podcast. That really helps us out as far as visibility and letting us know what not to talk about, like cheese and fondue, that type of thing. So, yeah.
Who doesn't love fondue, man?
I'm not telling you to give us a good review, but I'm saying give us a review so we know what you like and what you don't like, because that really helps out shifting through things.
Give us a good review. Lie.
Yeah, if you don't like it, just say you love it. It's opposite.
Say you love it.
All of December is opposite day. So
more the algorithms will love us more. Just lie. It's fine.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week for episode 23. No, episode 24. I hope that you all have a Merry Christmas. You have a great time hanging out with your family, watching football, and just enjoying life to its fullest. I hope that you enjoy. I was trying to lead that into my new catchphrase, but it wasn't working. So anyways, you guys have a great Christmas. And as always, I hope your teams do well, unless they're playing mine.